In Western Australia, if you're found in possession of only more than 50 kilograms of potatoes, you're put in jail. And in Scotland, if someone knocks on your door and says, I need the loo, can I come in? You've got to let them in. But what about New Zealand? What weird laws do we have here? I'll tell you now, if you're not from New Zealand and you haven't been to New Zealand, there is nothing sexier. No, it's true.
I say.
In this week's show, we're going to explore 8 strange laws of New Zealand and decide whether they make any sense at all.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
You'll be what?
Kia ora.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Today, we're going to be talking to you about strange laws in New Zealand.
Very strange.
If you haven't been to the channel before, we're Liz and Brian, husband and wife, and we talk all things New Zealand, travel, life in New Zealand, moving to New Zealand, travelling around from New Zealand. So, yeah, if you love New Zealand, then you're on the right channel.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've picked 3 strange laws in New Zealand that still exist. And then we made 5 of our own strange laws.
As
Well,
you
we
do.
don't think they're strange.
No.
We made 5 laws that we think we're actually going to take them to Jacinda and just say, look, these laws need to be
Yeah,
passed.
we're not very
because-
political on this channel whatsoever.
Yes, we
but
are. We've made our list.
We're going to make some laws.
Yeah,
So,
proper laws that
yeah,
need to be
we're crossing the line.
adhered to. Right, so sit back and enjoy the show and let's go. Right, number 1, weird law in New Zealand. I love this one.
Yeah.
Prior to the 1950s, it was illegal to let your cattle mate in fields that fronted...
Your cattle mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as in, you know,
Yeah.
little bit of honky-tonky.
Yeah.
In your...
Bit of piggyback going on.
Yeah, in the field that fronts the road.
The main
What do you
highway
think of that?
or the road.
What do you think of that?
Bloody right as well. Keep that business out the sight of people.
Yeah, and it's a shame that they got rid of that. They got rid of it in the 1950s, probably
Yeah.
trying to be all like hippie and free thinking and, what's wrong
Yeah.
with a bit of cattle love? But I think they should have left it because
Yeah.
there's nothing more off-putting than when you're driving along the country road with your kids in the back and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, mummy, why is
that bull doing that?
Yeah, exactly. Why are they having a piggyback? And then you've got to explain it all. So, yeah. I think they should have left it, definitely.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
Put the farmers in their place.
So that's number 1 weird law. Like I say, it's a shame because it's not still enforced now, but
Yeah.
I wonder who enforced it. And also, by the time they got there, like say if the cows were at it,
Yeah.
you know, and then, I'm going to go and call the police.
I know. Who's going to phone the police and
Yeah.
just say them cows are up to it again?
He comes
Can't
cycling
believe it.
along on his bike, the policeman. I mean, if you were in the 1950s in New Zealand, please tell us if this is the case. He came cycling along from like Wellington or Auckland
Yeah.
down the road.
Got his notepad out.
Yeah. Oh, well, where's it happening then? Obviously, by the time he gets
No cameras.
there,
Yeah.
by the time he gets there, it's all going to be over and done with. If
Yeah.
they're like, quick.
Kiwi style.
Right. Number 2, weird law in New Zealand is you are not allowed to deface banknotes. I don't think that's that weird. I'm used to that because of England.
Yeah, used to after England,
Yeah.
because is that still in force?
I think so, yeah.
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 Because what, you're going to draw a moustache on the Queen?
No, but do you know what it is, Bri? You know, sometimes like when you're counting money, like we've had cash businesses, haven't we? And
Yeah.
you know, when you're cashing up at the end of the night and you're like counting the money out, you always want to, once you've got a pile of like 1,000
Yeah.
or 20 in
Yeah,
our
that happened
case,
every 5 minutes, didn't it?
you want to write, don't you?
Yeah, the
500
amount, yeah,
or 250.
Yeah.
Not allowed to.
Not allowed to do that.
Put in jail if you do that.
Yeah. And it's all plastic, the money here now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's not paper anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think was it ever paper?
Here. Yeah, well, it would have been at one time.
That's not very. Is that eco-friendly, Bri, to have plastic money?
Well, yeah, because you have to go under the durability. So, and sustainability, that side of it, it's going to last 10 times longer than paper money.
The great thing is about plastic money in New Zealand is when you put it in, if you go in the sea with your shorts on, you've got
Yeah.
money,
Well,
you're
the
always...
what goes through the washing machine
Yeah, you're
umpteen
always
times.
putting your wallet in the washing machine.
Yeah, I don't. You put it in.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, didn't check my pens.
And so it comes out and it's perfect. So that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel the same, but it's weird. Everywhere's going that way. The UK's got plastic money now. I think America's still on paper money, aren't they?
has the UK got plastic money?
Yeah, they went over to plastic,
Oh,
didn't
I
they?
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so number 3, weird law. This is quite weird. I find this a bit weird. Weird law in New Zealand. If you lose your wallet or your keys, you are not allowed to advertise. You're not allowed to say, oh, if you find this and return it to me, I'll give you $50.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to offer a reward.
It's weird, isn't it?
Ransom.
Yeah. I've lost my wallet with $1,000 in it. I'll give you $1,500 if you give it me back.
No, but why wouldn't you be allowed to say, you know, oh, I'll give
Yeah.
you a tenner if you return it. If you
I
find
know.
anyone who finds my keys.
Is that still in force now, is it?
Yeah, it gives you more of an incentive to look for something. If
Well,
you
of course
knew
it
that
does.
you were going to get a $50 reward.
Yeah.
Do you remember if your mum and dad when you were kids and they'd be like, oh, I've lost my keys. Whoever finds them, I'll give them £5
Yeah,
or
well, it's
whatever,
like anything,
you know?
isn't it? You know, you lost your cat or something and reward it for
Yeah,
cat.
yeah.
And you're not allowed to do that.
Not allowed to do it. And if you notice as well, now you've just said that, you know, when you go down the Fourth Square and they've
Lost
lost little
cat
grey
or-
tabby cat,
yeah.
doesn't say reward
Yeah.
for finding.
Yeah.
Maybe you're allowed. Maybe the Kiwis have got this thing where like you're allowed to give them a cake, or that would just be
But
typical
still-
Kiwi
it's still-
style. That wouldn't
yeah,
it?
it is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's still a reward, isn't it? So yeah.
You're all right, Bri. You seem a little bit quiet.
No, just thinking.
Oh, what are you thinking about?
Just thinking that my camera's working.
Oh, all right. I think they're all working, aren't they?
They are.
If we're still here, your cameras are working.
yeah, they're
Just
working.
relax. Have a little cup of tea, look.
Yeah,
Just
there we
relax
go.
yourself. Seem a little bit uptight.
No, I'm fine.
You're all right?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take a nice deep breath. It's all right, Bri.
Okay.
Right, so now we've got some fun things for you because they're the 3 weird laws in New Zealand. But now, while we were sitting here last night, we were sat out here, weren't we, Bri? Glass
Yep.
of wine. And we said, oh, do you know what? We should pass some laws in New Zealand. We should make some laws. And we made a list of 5 laws that we think should come into action.
At 11 o'clock last night, so we could get this, like, within 12 hours, we could get this straight up on
Yeah.
the internet and,
On the interweb.
yeah, on the interweb and get Jacinda involved.
Yeah. So these are our 5 laws that we've come up with. See what you think. Right, okay, so number 1, we think, well, I certainly do, I certainly think this should be made a law. When all boys get to dating age in New Zealand, I think they should be forced to speak with a Māori accent.
Dating
yes,
age?
Yes.
Why?
I'm going to tell you now.
All right.
So then, if they are speaking with a Māori accent,
Yeah.
they're going to get a date, aren't they? They're never going to be single ever again.
Well, that's in your eyes.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Is it?
Yes. Because I'll tell you now, if you're not from New Zealand and you haven't been to New Zealand, there is nothing sexier. No, this is true.
I say.
Than the Māori accent. No. So I'll tell you why I'm saying this, and you're not going to like this, Bri. I know you're not going to like it, but the thing
I think I
is...
need to see the list.
No, the thing is, Bri, is you try to say words in a Māori accent.
No, I don't.
You do, darling.
I do.
And you do. And you say things like, oh, hey, bro, you know, trying to be Māori and sound nice and cool.
Well, 1 minute I'm Kiwi Cornish and now
No,
I'm trying to
but
sound
what I'm
Māori.
saying is if they made it law in
Yeah.
schools or whatever, that, you know, when a boy or got to the age 14, this is just, and they started looking for a mate, boy or girl,
Yeah.
if you speak like this, little boy, you know,
Little
or,
boy,
not little
yeah.
boy, but you're going to find a partner because, as I say, I think it's a sexy accent. And there's nothing worse than hearing a non-Māori person like yourself, Brian. I'm not being horrible because I know you're just trying to fit in. But you know, I don't know. It's a bit cringy, isn't it, Brian?
I've got an English accent, so I'm not going to sound like a Māori. I can't even
No.
do a Māori accent.
Yeah, but you say those certain words like you say, oh,
Like
yeah,
what?
bro. Well, bro's one of them.
Well, bro, yeah, but bro, it's all right, bro.
I know, it doesn't
It's not
sound
like
right.
bro.
You should you just maybe just stick to your hello, old chap. You know.
Say, old chaps, how you doing?
See, that sounds nice,
Yeah,
doesn't
but-
it?
Yeah.
You know,
But not sexy. There
not
you go.
really, Bri.
No.
Not really.
No.
And even Sonny is like our son, and he's 20,
Yeah.
and he says words like, you know, Archer, bro, and all the, you know.
Yeah. But
And it doesn't
he
sound...
can do a mean Māori
He
accent.
can,
Yeah.
he can. But what I'm saying is, if it was compulsory to speak like that,
Yeah.
then by the time you got to your age, Bri, it'd be flowing out naturally, and I wouldn't sit there cringing every time you say bro.
Nothing quite like it when it flows out naturally, eh?
Anyway, so I think that. So what?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
All
so
right. Okay.
number 2, law that we think
What?
should be.
Yeah. All right.
What?
Well, what about girls?
Well,
because you just done
Well, you
boys.
tell me. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, because I'm a woman, because I think, well, what do you think? Do you think that women are, is a sexy accent?
Yeah, it's a lovely accent.
It is.
Yeah.
But do you think it's sexy?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Right, all right, then we'll make the law, we'll widen the law then.
Okay. Females and men. Everybody in New Zealand has to speak with a Maori accent. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, that's sorted then. Should we
Yeah.
move on?
Okay, next.
Right, number 2. Number 2, weird law. And we're a stickler for this one. I think all New Zealand fish and chip shops...
Yes, this is a definite.
Go on, Brian, what?
Yeah.
Tell them.
Have some bloody vinegar in there. For God's sake. Come on, New Zealand. We brought fish and chips to you years and years ago, and now you've gone down some weird chicken salt route.
Yeah.
Well, what's all that about?
Don't know.
Yeah, get the vinegar out.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it on the chips.
I'm wondering...
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
loads of salt and vinegar. You can't beat.
Yeah.
There's salt and vinegar crisps in the supermarket or in the Foursquare. Salt and vinegar, very popular because they always go off the shelf.
Yep.
So why don't you have it on your fish and chips?
Yeah. I think when you're applying for a licence to have a fish and chip shop in New Zealand, they should
Yeah.
just say, like, we're going to send a person in then, a little person. To
A little person.
Little person, just
Who
have a look.
speaks with a Maori accent?
If you dream of moving to New Zealand, then you are going to love what I'm about to share with you. 12 years ago, when me and Bri emigrated to New Zealand, we were scouring the internet, trying to find any information that we could about what our life would be like when we got here. And basically all we had was YouTube. So we made this vow. We said, when we get to New Zealand, we're going to create something that we can share with others that answers those questions that you're so desperate to know about. Like, what is your life going to be like when you get here? And that's what I'm here to offer you today. We have created a 5-day free, absolutely free video guide that shows you what it's really like to live in New Zealand. This stuff is unique and it is fabulous. You are not going to find it anywhere else on the internet. And like I say, it's absolutely free. You'll be sent a video every day for 5 days and you will know what it's like in New Zealand. So head over to the website. It's www.nzahead.com/free. One more time, that's www.nzahead.com/free. You are going to love it.
I think when you're applying for a licence to have a fish and chip shop in New Zealand, they should
Yeah.
just say, like, we're going to send a person in then, a little person.
A little person.
Little person, just
Who
have a look.
speaks with a Maori accent?
I'm not even going to try and do it. I was just going to attempt to do it, but I'm not going to. So have a little person come in with the Maori accent and just say, right, so you've got your deep fat fry, you've got all your health and safety regulations.
Yeah.
Where's the vinegar? Where's the vinegar then?
But where is
Yeah. You don't have to have it. You don't have to say yes, but it would be nice to be given the choice, wouldn't it, Brian?
Yeah, I think I've only ever been to one fish and chip shop in New Zealand, and that was we'd only just got here, and it's up heading up Whangarei somewhere around that way. And the guy, I just said, "Do you have any vinegar?" It was the first time I'd having fish and chips. We've been driving our camper van all day, and pulled over, went to the fish and chip shop. I said to the guy, "You got some? Have you got put some vinegar on the chips, please?" He went, "Oh, you must be English." And I went, "Yeah." And he said, and he pulled out this little bottle of vinegar.
Did he?
And away it went.
Sarsens?
I've never seen. No, it wasn't Sarsens.
That's all right.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's all
matter.
right, yeah.
It was better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I played the pinball machine in there, and well, it's great. I remember that night. It's weird. A
And we
pinball
can't
machine in a
quite-
fish and chip shop.
We can't
Never
quite
seen
understand it because I think fish and chips would have been brought over by the
It. Oh, of course it
Brits,
was.
wouldn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
So did they just forget the vinegar or what? Didn't they mention that all fish and chip shops in the UK have vinegar?
I know. It's like,
weird, isn't
maybe
it?
they just like ran out or something. But they've got so
Yeah.
many beers here and stuff that you would
Sprinkle a bit of beer on it if we're,
That's
you know.
it. Any vinegar will do.
Yeah.
White wine vinegar
Yeah.
or cider vinegar. I don't care.
So that's number 2 anyway. Right, number 3. Oh, I like this one. We had this really good idea about the contact tracing app.
Yeah.
Didn't we, Brian?
Yeah,
it was
so-
actually Bri's idea, this one.
So in New Zealand, you've got the contact tracing app where you sign in and it's all electronic. You've got the QR code that you scan in through your phone, and there's Bluetooth tracing. So if you're next to someone, it just basically helps to trace COVID and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I think everyone in New Zealand should gain access to that. So when you're going out and you're thinking, I just want to go for a nice cup of coffee on my own, I can just check out the cafe and see who's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who signed in?
Who signed in?
Oh, he's
And
there.
it's
Let's leave it. Let's leave it.
I'm just like, I'm not going to get any peace and quiet. And
Yeah.
that would just be so good, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah. And just like anywhere you go, you're just like, oh, yeah, they're there. Let's go
Yeah.
on. Let's get down there.
It's a bit like, the kids of today. They've got
Yeah.
this Snapchatty,
Snapchat thing where they-
find my
yeah.
friends thing. So they
Yeah.
look on it and they can see where everyone is in the world. I mean, it's flipping amazing, isn't
it is. They have to be like, I don't know, subscribe to each other and stuff, or whatever you call
probably,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's share my location or something it's
Right.
called, isn't it?
Right.
Because, like, Sonny will often say, oh, so-and-so's down at the port or
Yeah.
he's down in the pharmacy or something.
Yep.
And we haven't got that. But like you
No.
say, contact tracing, it would just put an end to that awkward, when you walk in, you're like, oh, no,
Yeah.
can't believe he's
Yeah.
here again.
But it's bad, isn't it? Because you just sit down and then someone comes and sits with you and you're like, oh, I just wanted 10 minutes, please.
That's really bad, isn't it?
It's not every cafe, is it? Or
Or, let's be positive, Brian. I mean, this would never happen with us, obviously, but let's pretend that we are nice people, that we'd say this. We could say, oh, look, our friends that we haven't got are down at the cafe today. Let's go and see them.
Well, it works both ways.
Yeah.
That's the idea of it, isn't it?
But we'll be honest, the reason we wanted it is so we could avoid
Just some
people.
peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah. And then you could see people coming. No, you couldn't see them coming in because they've got to sign in. Then they're there, aren't they? Yeah, they might have left
Yeah.
by the time you get there, but
Yeah.
still nice to have access to that little database. It'd be great, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
I haven't got this problem. I haven't got this thing about, when people say, oh, it's invading my privacy about where people knowing you are. I wouldn't really mind about that.
It's rubbish. The cell phone company know where you are.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because you got your phone switched on. So
I think it'd be very handy.
Yeah. But the fact is, if someone wanted to get hold of you, the cell phone company knows exactly where you are.
Do they?
Well, of course they do. You're on their cell towers.
What? So if I didn't know where you were, I could ring up Spark and say,
well,
where's
they
Brian?
wouldn't
And
know,
they'd know.
but the government probably could ring up and say, where is he? You've seen films where, they're using, they
Yeah,
just
that's
trace
on James
people.
Bond. That's not in real life.
No, you can do it.
Brian?
When you
Do you
phone
know
up,
this for a fact?
when you phone up the AA,
Yeah.
they can get your location off your phone.
Can they?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They never used to, but they can now. And the emergency services do it as well. So there you go.
That's good.
Yeah, they just say, we know where you are. You're like, well, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you? I don't know. In some lane somewhere in the middle of New
Yeah.
Zealand. Oh, Maggie, don't knock all the things over.
Yep.
Okay, so Maggie's just coming around. Right, so number 4. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, number 4, I think they should make hangi the national dish in New Zealand. Number 4, make hangi the national dish of New Zealand.
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't been to New Zealand and you're not sure what we're talking about, a hangi is a Māori traditional meal where you make a pit in the ground and put hot rocks inside, and then you put a tray of meat and vegetables, kumara, and I think it's lamb and pork, and it can be all different
It's
sorts
just
of meats, can't
everything
it?
wrapped up and put
Yeah.
around the rocks,
Yeah.
and then it just cooks over like three or 5 hours or
Yeah,
whatever
and then
it
they
is.
put the dirt back on top, the earth back on, the hot rocks on, and then they put the earth on
Yeah,
top.
they put earth back on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, put like blankets and things over it and stuff. Well, not whatever they're made of. They used to be made of flaxes and stuff
Yeah.
like that, didn't they?
And they leave it for hours and it just
Yeah.
cooks slowly. And if you haven't heard us talk about New Zealand food before, go and watch the after this, not now, because we want you to stay and listen to the weird facts.
Yeah, because Liz loves food.
Yeah,
so-
I do. I flipping
and
love
she's probably
food. I'm
thinking
like-
about hungry right now.
I am, because I tell you what, it is the best thing you could ever eat in New Zealand. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just being like, oh yeah, it's delicious,
It's
isn't
gorgeous.
it, Bri?
It really
it's
is,
delicious.
because everything's just cooked in its own
Yeah.
stuff.
So I can't understand why, when people say, "Oh, what's the national dish of New Zealand?" they don't say that. They don't say.
And, it should be really,
Of course
shouldn't it?
it
Because it's just a
should.
great way to cook. And even if you're a vegan, you can have a kumara. There you go. Yours is separate, mate.
You can just have a bit of kumara with some juice on it. But yeah,
Nothing wrong with vegans, but it's just like, because everyone goes, I couldn't eat that because it's got meat in there, but it's not. There's vegetables are cooked separately, or they can be cooked
because I was
together.
thinking about this, Bri. If you say like, "Oh yeah, what's the national dish of, I don't know, Italy?" It's like, "Oh yeah, pizza or pasta."
Mm-hmm.
National dish of India,
Curries.
tandoori
Yeah,
chicken,
yeah.
curries and tandoori. But New Zealand, it's always a bit wishy. It's always a bit, lamb and pavlova, and we've got the, and it's like, no, cut it out. That should be the national dish.
Yeah.
And not only that, before you get your citizenship in New Zealand, we're going to send the little man round that's been down
Yeah.
the vinegar shop.
Speaks with a Maori accent.
And we're going to make sure that you've dug a pit in your garden, Brian,
Yes.
and made a hangi and
yeah.
tried it at least, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put me potatoes in with vinegar on.
Yeah. So I think definitely, you know?
Yeah. No, it is. It's
Imagine
just
what
bringing
that would
those
do for New
traditions.
Zealand tourism as
yeah,
well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Imagine if you just said, you know, in New Zealand, this is our national dish,
Yeah.
you know?
Why didn't someone start that for a takeaway service, like a McDonald's, just a big pit in the ground, and you can drive up and just keep getting the stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Like, you know, or like, yeah,
I wonder if there is anywhere that you can do that.
don't know. Yeah.
That's a really good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not talking like touristy, because you can go to Rotorua and, you know, you
Yeah,
can
it's good to see those
experience-
things,
Yes,
but
it's
yeah.
But I mean, just like proper,
Yeah,
you know?
everything's been cooked in an oven. Like, you know, it's not been done the traditional way. Like, you know, yeah. But we're hopeless though, because we could have gone to several of them. We always go, oh no, we'll just go home.
What do you mean?
Well, but like we could have done one at Parihaka. We could have stayed there or gone back in the morning.
That's because
for
you
it.
didn't want to stay overnight, because you
Why?
wanted to get back to your bed.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. We're hopeless.
That's what I'm. Well,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What?
We're
can-
not
you-
hopeless,
you
are
can
we?
drive.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I am desperate to put a pit into the back garden here, and Ryan won't, because he says it's going to ruin the grass.
Yeah.
But
There you
go. You know, I think I
Yeah.
think it should be. I don't want to start going off on a tangent here, but I just think it should be made the national dish. And like I say, no faffing around,
Yeah.
no this and that, no pavlova, no. It's that, and that's it. Agreed?
Okay. Yep. Agreed.
Okay then. Yeah. I feel like I'm the one that's doing all the talking. You say the next one
No,
then,
it's all right.
Ryan.
No, you can.
No. You
just-
say the next one.
You just keep going.
No. So hang on. We've done that. Okay. Oh, it's our last one. What are we doing for time?
Oh, 10 minutes to go.
Oh, we're whipping through, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's because you're not giving me anything.
Oh.
No, you like this. Come on, let's relax.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Right. Number 5.
Yep.
What happened? I'm going to tell you a story. Oh, Maggie, where is she? Oh, she's over
like
there.
this,
You
yeah.
probably can't see her.
Yeah, you might see her on that camera.
She's got a little thing on her leg, a little black thing on her leg that's been bothering her for weeks, months. Well, you
Yeah.
reckon she's had it for years, but I think it's
yes,
been,
it's a skin tag, isn't it?
yeah, and it's been getting bigger and bigger, and we're like, oh, you know, you put it off, don't you? And you're like, oh, what if it's something really bad? Let's just take her to the vets and see what it is. So 2 days ago, we took her to the vets just up the road from ours, and
Past the cows in the field.
yeah, having a quick one in the
Yeah.
field, and we took her to the vets. And it's the first time ever I've ever been in the vets with, and we've always had animals, that the vet lady was in there, and she said, she had a look at it, and she said, okay, if we do this, it's going to cost $100 for the blood test.
Yeah.
And then you said, oh, she's also got this little lump on her belly, and it was like one of those little, you get those fatty tissue things on your,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what the
she's
name.
had it forever and a day,
Yeah.
hasn't she? Yeah.
And Brian said, oh, can you also look at that? And she went, yep, if we look at that, if we can have a look at that, it'll be an extra $75. And we're like, oh no. I said, well, is it anything? She said, well, not really. And we came out of there, and it was like, how refreshing was that?
I know. Yeah.
To go in the vets, and she actually told us how much everything was going to cost.
Yeah. Yeah. But and that's the thing, isn't it? Because you normally go to the vets and it's just like you're going in like this, aren't
You
you?
are.
Because it's just like, and you come out with a bill that's like $1,000, and you're like, oh, they could have told me it was going to be that.
Yeah. And we said the only, we couldn't think of anything else that you do. Like, you wouldn't go into a restaurant and, well, maybe you would if you were like really rich and posh, but you wouldn't go into a restaurant and have a look at the menu and have no prices on the things and go, oh yeah, I'll have that, and that, not knowing what it was going to cost you. Or you wouldn't go into the hairdressers and go, oh yeah, can I have it dyed and styled, not knowing what it was going to cost you. So why is it different at the vets?
I don't know.
You know?
It shouldn't be really. I know you can get complications, but that's, it's.
I know, but like you said, you do tend to go in there completely and utterly
Yeah,
blind.
but you're just
to
like
what it's gonna
Google when
cost
you go in, because you haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
You're not a vet. You haven't done all the training for it, and it's just
No.
like, and it's just like, blood tests and this and that, and this how much it's going to cost to put her under, to, anaesthetizer and stuff like that. And it's just like, you come out, you're like, to get an estimate before you even go there is great, like,
So the good news is Maggie's fine, because the vet phoned us yesterday and she's like, it's just a skin tag. We're going to take it off.
Yep.
They are going to have to put her under. We're going to take it off, but it's nothing sinister or anything.
No.
But yeah, we're talking about it and we're like, that should actually be a law that they have to say the prices.
It's a bit like, when you go to a restaurant in America and it's like, oh, look, there's a steak there. It's $20. I'll have the steak. And then at the end of it, it's plus tax, plus state tax, plus federal tax, plus a tip. And I'm like,
I know.
You're like, well, it wasn't $20 then, was it? Now it's cost me $30 for a steak.
Well, that's a different topic altogether, isn't it, Bri? Because,
Well, that's just ridiculous. Come on, America. It's 2022. Get your pricing sorted out and pay your people the right amount of money. There you go. That's all I've got to say. Don't pay waitresses $2 an hour.
Or pay them, what do you mean? I'll pay them a proper wage.
That's what they do. They get like a tiny wage and they're reliant on tips. Well, it's just, it's not right, is it?
No.
Like,
Is this related to the law in any way?
No, but that should be a law. That should be.
I'll tell you what, before we go, what are we doing for time? Before we go, listen to this.
Yep.
Are we all right for time?
Yeah, we're all right for time.
Listen to this weird law, because when we were making the thing, we were like, oh, let's find out what weird laws are around the world. And I'll just tell you this one because I just thought it was brilliant. In Milan, in Italy, apparently it is a legal requirement to smile at all times unless you're at a funeral, in a hospital, or beside someone who's seriously ill in hospital.
Yeah.
It says it was a city regulation from Austro-Hungarian times and was never repealed. Bloody right.
Should be
Get
that.
a smile on your face,
it
Italians.
Should be like that everywhere. It's New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have a mulberry smile.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Put a smile on your face. So I'm trying to remember when we went to Italy, whether they went round in Milan smiling or not. It's just...
No, I wouldn't. You don't know, do you?
No,
And,
I just thought that was brilliant. There's so many weird laws that...
There is. There's like hundreds of laws that are crazy, aren't they? Like, that... I suppose, like you said, the little policeman with his notebook wouldn't be able to...
not allowed to say policeman, police person.
No, back then it was a policeman, wasn't it?
You're not allowed to say that, Bri.
No.
I've been writing up, complaining.
Yeah.
Jim will fix it.
That's it. Because you used to have policemen and then you had WPCs, didn't you?
Anyway, so that's that. If you are still here and listening and you still haven't signed up for our free 5-day living in New Zealand guide, make sure that you go and do that. It's absolutely free. We send you a video every day showing you some aspect of what life is like in New Zealand.
Yep.
And we always say you won't find it anywhere else, and you definitely won't find it anywhere else.
Because we made it.
Yeah, so click the link wherever it is and sign up for that. And like I say, we'll send you some videos.
And not only that, if you stay with that, at the end of the 5 days, you get the option to buy a guide, which gives you access to our community, our private community over here in New Zealand. For people who are thinking of moving over to New Zealand, it's a Slack group. There's over 100 people in it, and it's just a real great community.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's very helpful, and we've got immigration experts in there as well and stuff like that. So it's
plus
just
you
a
get
great
to speak
group
to
of
Bri
people.
whenever you want.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can
it's worth
DM
the money
me.
for that, isn't
Look
it?
at that, DM me. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh,
isn't
right,
it?
well done.
Yeah,
well done. And before we go, we just want to say, because we didn't get a chance to say this on our last video, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
And do you know what?
But we don't know when we're putting this out. This might be
out on Thursday.
Oh, this is going on Thursday.
Yeah.
Ooh, right. Okay.
Get your bum into gear.
Yes.
And get editing. We just wanted to say we had a 3-week break over the summer.
Yes.
And we came back, and I was nearly crying when I was reading the comments.
Yeah, some fantastic comments. What a great group of people we've got on.
You're gorgeous.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's just a brilliant group of people in our YouTube community.
Yes,
you see so many bad things
and
about
on the
YouTube.
podcast, everything.
The podcasting community as well.
Yeah.
It's just lovely. We get some great emails through the podcast because I don't know why it's so hard to leave a comment on a podcast.
I know.
It just is, isn't it?
It is. But someone did say to us on the comments on YouTube, they were like, oh yeah, this channel is great because we love reading everyone's comments. Like people.
Yeah, it's like a little diary, isn't it?
And that's what I said. It's like, this channel is made from you guys
Yep.
your comments
For
and
you
your
guys.
interaction.
Yeah.
But they make it
Yes,
with
they
all
do.
those comments that you give and your little stories. And, you know, there's one guy and he's 83 and he's living in Thailand and he's a Kiwi and he's just,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like all these stories that come in. Thank you so, so much for being here for
Yeah.
us, for supporting us, and just for everything that you do. We're so appreciative of you.
No, it's brilliant.
Okay. Right, we're going to go now. I think
Yep.
I'm going to have some avocado on toast, a little bit of feta and some lemon
Are you
and
hungry?
thyme.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm starving.
Yeah, because it is 1 o'clock now,
yeah,
isn't it?
So let's go and have
on
some
a Saturday.
lunch.
Yeah.
So remember those weird laws? Drop a comment below and
Yep.
tell us what you think and which ones you think would be worth sending to Jacinda.
Yeah, but give us some of your laws. If you'd like
Yes.
a law that you think, oh, wouldn't it be great if you could do this, or wouldn't it be great if you could do that? It
Yeah.
would just be, it'd be great.
Yeah.
So let's hear your views. There are 5 little ones sitting around a fire pit with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And I think what you should go and do now is go and watch the New Zealand food video, because I'm hungry. I'm thinking, oh, what could they watch next? Go and watch the New Zealand food video. We tell all about the hangi and all different New Zealand foods,
Yep.
and you're going to love it.
Yep.
So until then, we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Kia kaha, kia u. Stay strong, stay true. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is like, really like, in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead.com/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead.com/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye again. Bye.
Bye.